What if you could turn your video transcript into LinkedIn post automatically? No manual formatting, no wasted time, just a smooth workflow with Apple Shortcuts and ChatGPT. In this video, I will show you how to set up an automated system that transforms transcript into LinkedIn hooks and full post in seconds. Plus, I will show you a little known trick to transcribe your videos for free using Slack. Let's get started. Okay, so let's see today how I can take my transcript of videos and automatically with Apple Shortcuts create LinkedIn hook, LinkedIn post, and also send it to Apple Notes. It is very simple workflow and we can see it here. First of all, I input a transcript from Apple Shortcuts. Then it's connect to the application of ChatGPT and create from a LinkedIn post, LinkedIn hook in 2 steps. And then at the end, it will send all the result to Apple Note. And also something that I want to mention that a part of all the steps that save us time, it also can save you money because you don't need to connect the API of OpenAI. You just connect the Apple Shortcuts application with the app of ChatGPT. So you need to download the app of ChatGPT to your computer, but basically you can use any model like O3, O1, any model that you want with Apple Shortcuts and not pay for the API. So if you are a freelance, great option. If you create content, also great option. You don't need to pay extra for the API or connect the API, so it's very simple. And because we send information to the ChatGPT application, if you want to continue iterate with the result, you can do it from the app. Let's see how it's look, and then I will show you how to create it. I am here in Slack. In Slack, something that is interesting that not a lot of people know, that if you create a Slack channel, you can send there your videos or anything that include audio and automatically it will transcript. The thing is free and it's quite fast. So here you can see I upload one video, I have view transcript, copy this one, and now go to Apple Shortcuts to see how it's work. Here we are in the Apple Shortcuts application. I open now the shortcuts I created, click on play, paste the transcript, and now you can see the process. You can see how it works step by step here. At the end, we'll see the result. And then I will show you how to set it by yourself. Okay, it's finished. Let's go to the Apple Notes to see what we get there. Here is the result. First of all, here is the title of the result that I added to help me to distinguish it between other posts that the Apple Shortcuts creates for me. And here is the hook, as you can see this one, and then the LinkedIn post. Let's build it together and you will be able to do it for yourself also. Here in Apple Shortcuts, click on the plus button and then you have new shortcuts. I double click on that and we get this blank shortcuts that we need to start to create. First of all, let's give it a name. Let's call it LinkedIn post example. Perfect. Now, the first step that we need is to set the input. In our case, it's build the transcription. So I will set now the input that you need to add the information to the chat. I search here for ask for input, okay, and click on that. Double click and it will add it here. Now here I want that the input will be text because I can select your numbers, URL, date, and more stuff, but basically for our case it's text. And here we'll paste, please paste the transcription, and that will be the label. So if I click on run, you will see that here we have a text input and above the label. The second thing that I need to do is add a variable. Variable in simple words, it's to save all this information in one place. So every time we need to use it, we'll call the same value. That's its variable. I try to explain it very easy. And if you not understand, don't worry. In the step we will do, you will understand what I mean when I said variable. Okay, but basically it stores the information in one place that also always you can use the same information and call it in the certain name. Developers now will a little bit smile now because they know how to do it. They is used to do that stuff. But if you're not a developer and it's new for you, that's the thing. Here I will write variable and add this function, add to variable. I click here now, and then you will see here there is small connection between these two steps, and that means they are connected together. So what is basically said? Add ask to input, the information that we add here, to a variable name. So now we will call it transcript. Okay, so I write it transcript, and every time now that I need to use the input, the transcription, I can use it by call it transcript. So I build here like a system that understand all the information inside easily. Next thing that we want to do is we want to add a title for this LinkedIn post and LinkedIn hook. It will help us to distinguish it between all the notes we have in the Apple Notes. So it will be easier for us to search for this LinkedIn post and LinkedIn hook that we did. And now I must to say that this case is very simple, but basically when I do it for myself, I added more steps. And the thing is that it's important to work very organized because if not, it will be difficult for you at the end to find the information. So be organized, it's always better. I will add now something that called comment. As you can see here, double click, and I call it title. Also, this is for organized. So every step that we set in this Apple Shortcuts will be organized. So for the title, we have some steps. So this comment say to us here, we start the steps of the title, and then we have the LinkedIn post. We add another comment called LinkedIn post. So we know that all these steps, it's for the LinkedIn post and also for the hook. The next thing, start to set the prompt that generate for us the title. I will search now for text box, right here, text, and here I click double click, and this is the text. Basically, we store the prompt in that text area. It will be easier for us to modify the prompt whenever you need. It's not 100% necessary, but it will help you to work more organized, because basically when we send information to ChatGPT, in the step we send to ChatGPT, there is a way to add the prompt there, but it's not so comfortable to work in these steps because it's difficult to write information there. So believe me, that's work better. I will write now the prompt. Okay, this is a prompt, and you can see it. Read the transcription and give me short title. Just write the title in plain text, transcription, and now we need to add the variable that we set here that called transcript. So I write it transcript. I start to write the name transcript, and then automatically the variables appear. I click here. So what's happened now? All the input that we will add in the first step, okay, at the end will show here. So every time we add the input, we can write transcript, and it will add the input that we had in the first step. I mean, in that step to here, to the transcript. I try to explain it in the best way I can because I'm not a technical person, and I try to do it simple. Please let me know in the comment if it's understandable or not, because it's helped me also to improve my ability to explain to you the stuff. Okay, now we have the first prompt, and now we need to send this prompt to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT will generate for us the title. So now we need to add a step to send information to ChatGPT. This step called Ask ChatGPT. Okay, you can see it here. I double click on that, and then what we will do? Ask ChatGPT the message. Message means it's exactly when you send something in the chat. So what we want to send now? The prompt. So here, I need to send this information to here. One thing that I can do, I can write here text, and then it will send information from here to here. And you can see now they are connected. But this is one way to do it. But I prefer to work with variables because it's more organized. So what I will do, let's delete this one. I will store all this text in other variable. Let's search for a variable, add to variable. I add it between the both of them, and then you can see that connected. So add this text, and the variable name will be title prompt. Okay, now it's stored in a variable, and then in Ask ChatGPT, I can write title prompt, and then it will take all this information and send it here. Next thing that we need to do is to select some information to send to the chat. You have here, if you want to start new chat, continuous chat, and show when run. This one I disabled it because basically when you run the information, it will show you a window with all the information, but we don't need it. We need the final result. Continuous chat is continuous chat that was in the past. I will be honest with you, what I try to use it, but it's never worked as I expected. It is always open a new chat, so I don't know how it's work exactly. And at the end, I start new chats always. So I click here, start new chat. Now you can select here the model. Okay, you can ChatGPT-4, ChatGPT-4 Omin, you can select anything that you want. And here it's one important thing to remember. If you work with the API of OpenAI, you need to pay for each call to the API. But in that case, not, because you use the application that inside your Mac. So you need to install the ChatGPT application to your Mac, and then it will send the information to the application of ChatGPT, and you will not need to make an API call. So it's also save you money and also a little bit of work with the API. In that case, I select GPT-4o Mini because basically I not need something very creative here, and I want it will be fast, so it will be enough to create a title. I just need to distinguish information in Apple Notes, so this is enough. So we said what the prompt we want to send to the chat. We said how we want the chat will respond us with which model, and now we need to store the result in a variable. So we'll need to take this information at the end and send it to Google Notes. So to do it again, we need to add variable. I'll search now for a variable, double click, and now you can see here, Ask ChatGPT means that information that ChatGPT will give us, we'll store it in a variable that called title. And then we'll use this variable at the end to send to the Apple Notes. We've finished now the first step, and let's move to the second step to create a LinkedIn post. So basically it's repetition of this step, but only to configure it for the LinkedIn post. I search now for a comment, add it, call it LinkedIn post, and now you can see that everything is organized well. We have the title with all the steps. We'll start now the LinkedIn post with all the steps, and you will see that it's easier to manage all the steps in that way. Let's add a text box. So we'll able to add a prompt. Here is the text, double click. I will add a prompt. Okay, I have here the prompt. It's a very simple prompt. This is not the prompt I use for my case, and you need to configure the prompt for your special case. Here I show a very basic prompt. I don't recommend you to use this prompt exactly how it's right. You need to write a prompt that fits for your needs. The tone of the voice, how you want it to be write. If you have a template or structure, you can add it to the prompt. This is a very basic one. I'll just let you know that I have one that there is a lot of characters and it's very long. It gives me good result, but just for the demonstration, I use this simple prompt. So it's like, act like a copywriter who writes LinkedIn posts, and then I explain that I am product designer that make YouTube video about AI and design, and I want to make a LinkedIn post from the transcription. I explain that I want to use plain text, and I explain the format that first I wanted to write LinkedIn post, 2 points, and then below the post. And here I need to write the transcription, and we will use again this variable. It's called transcript. So I write here transcript, appear here transcript, I select it, and then it will take the information that we write here, that basically store in this variable, and use it again in that prompt. Next thing will be add this prompt to another variable. So I will search here variable. I know that not all the people will like to use so much variables, but I prefer to use in that way because it's make my life easier. And if after that I need to duplicate these shortcuts and create from this another one, so I can use the variables instead of restructure all the shortcuts. I call this variable LinkedIn post prompt and then send this text to ChatGPT. Let's search for ChatGPT now. Here we have Ask ChatGPT. I double click on that. Okay, here we have the Ask ChatGPT. So basically this is send information to ChatGPT. I click here on the message and write LinkedIn post prompt, and what it will take this information, send to ChatGPT, click on show more, and here again, let's disable show in one, start new chat. In that case, I recommended you to use GPT-4o because it's more creative. And if you see this video in the future, I'm sure that we'll have more advanced LLM models. So select the best for this case. Today that I record that one, 4 is the best. So I use this one. Now let's send the result to a one variable. So I create here variable, add to variable, double click, and here ask ChatGPT, let's call it LinkedIn post. And all the result from ChatGPT will go now to a variable that called LinkedIn post. Now we need to create the hook. So again, same thing. I open now comment, add a comment, I call it LinkedIn hook, and make the process again. We have here LinkedIn hook. Let's add the text now where you can store the prompt. Double click here, add the text, and paste the prompt now. Okay, perfect. So we have now a very simple prompt to create a hook. I will not review the prompt now. You need to configure it for your specific needs. It's very basic one, only for the demonstration. I don't use this prompt. But now the most important, I ask it to create for me a hook. I say to it, read the LinkedIn post and write for me a hook. And I ask it to use plain text. Okay, but the thing is that now the post that ChatGPT create for us, now we'll ask ChatGPT to create a hook based on this post. And as we add it here in the LinkedIn post as a variable, so I will select it now, the LinkedIn post, the variable, and then all the information that come from the result of the ChatGPT that creates for us the LinkedIn post, store now. The new step will create the hook based on this LinkedIn post, so it will be more accurate. Now you can ask for 2, 3, 4 hooks and then select for them. Again, for the demonstration, I do it easily. Okay, but you can play with the prompt as you wish to create different results. Now I store this prompt as a variable. I search for variable, add to a variable, and let's call it hook prompt. Okay, I call it hook prompt now, and now we need to send this prompt to ChatGPT. So we'll ask for Ask GPT function. I add it here. And in the message, I select hook prompt. So it sends this text to ChatGPT. Let's select the model. In that case, I select GPT-4o again. Again, disable show and run, start new chat, model 4o. And by the way, If some of you understand how to use the continuous chat, please write in the comment, because I tried a lot. I didn't understand why it's not work, because basically it's open to me always new window. So if somebody knows how to do it, I will happy to study from you also. So write it in the comment and it will be great. So now we need to store the result in our variable. So I search for a variable here. I click on add to variable and let's call it LinkedIn hook. And now ChatGPT generates for us all the information. But what we need to do now, take all the information and send it to Apple Notes. So we'll get the information there. How we do it? Let's add the comment now, so we will work more organized. I call this step send to Apple Notes, and then we need to search for a function called combine. So basically what it does is combine all the information in one place. I will search for it right here on the right menu, combine. Okay, you see combine text. I click on that, and then we have now the new option. What we do now? We need now to combine all the text ChatGPT generate for us, so we need to send it to OneNote in Apple Notes. First of all, I write LinkedIn hook. You can see it here, LinkedIn hook, and I click on the plus button and write LinkedIn post. So we find LinkedIn post, and what it's mean at the end. This variable LinkedIn hook, it's the result that come from this step, and LinkedIn post is the result that come from ChatGPT in that steps. I believe that now you understand why I organize all the information in variables. We need to select here new lines. We have new lines, space or custom. I will select new lines. That what it does at the end, every result that we have, like in that case, LinkedIn hook and LinkedIn post, it will separate them by line. So it will be organized in the Apple Notes application. Now you ask yourself, where is the title that we generate in the first step? So I will show you now why I didn't add them in that step, because now we have another step that's called create note with. I search now for the create note. We have now create note with, and then what we need to take is this information. It's that combine. So I click here, click on combine text, and then as you can see, it's connect them together. So it will take the information from here. I could create a variable to store the information for the combined text, but because it's a last step, I do it in a simpler way. So it's created now here a line that shows us that they are connected, and what it will do is create new note with a combined text, all the information in the combined text, and now I can select the folder. So now I select LinkedIn post video, that this is the folder that I created for this demonstration. Click on that, and now it's here. So where is the title? Now the thing is that here we need to click on show more, and the name of this note will be the title that we generated in the first step. So I will search for the variable title, and now I can select the title, as you can see here, and then the title will be the name of the new note. One important thing, disable OpenAI because you don't need it. You can go directly at the end to the Apple Notes application and get the information there. I disabled this one, and now, and that's very important, let's make a test that see that everything works. I click on play, paste the transcript. Once I click on done, I will move to the Apple Notes application, so it will be how it's created it. Let's click on done. You can see now the process, it's work. Here the Apple Notes application, and in one moment you will see that it's appeared here, the new note. So now we have it. This is the title. This one, as you can see here, this is the hook, and then we have the LinkedIn post. Two things to let you know. When you build the prompt, you can configure that so the last result will be a little bit more organized. So for example, here we have LinkedIn post, but we can add also in the prompt of the hook to add something like LinkedIn hook. So it will be a little bit more organized, but this is the process more or less, not something different. One thing to let you know, when you create this post with ChatGPT, many times it will add to you here asterisk. So to asterisk, as you can see, basically it means bold in HTML. You can add to the prompt something like don't use plain text or write it simple without bold, something like that. It's not always work. Sometimes I success to clean all these asterisks, sometimes not. If you have time and energy, you can play with the prompt again and again. If you don't have time and energy to create the perfect prompt that not result in output with asterisk, you can use the Control F on Apple Notes, write the two asterisk. So you can see here there is nothing. So if I click on all, you will see that I clean all the asterisk in the note. So that is the process. If you have some comments, drop them in the comments. I will happy to respond you. And if you have some feedback about how to improve the process, also do put it there. I always love to hear from people and study from them. And if you have ideas for more videos, drop in the comment also. I am also happy to do more videos and get ideas for topics that people are interested in. Thanks for watching. If you are looking to automate processes in your business or curious about bringing AI into your workflow, my contact info is down in the description. So feel free to reach out anytime. And if you got value from this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. I love to hear your thought or any questions you have got. See you in the next video. Take care.